This episode may contain explicit language.
Cheyna brought an article to us from The Cut called I Love My Husband Who Hates Me.
I do feel that there's like a whole group of people who just are going to say the most outrageous thing about their partner online just to get those likes, just to get those clicks.
There's a woman who's like got her husband an Xbox or something for Christmas. And then in exchange, he got her
a butter dish.
If we're venting, and then people come basically to the venter's defense. They're like, you are right, you deserve better. And then they turn around and are like, no, he's actually great. It's like, what is happening?
Don't hate your husband publicly? Is that unfeminist of me?
Brain malfunctioning.
Hey, this is Karen Feeding. We're usually three friends. Right now, it's just both of us, Elizabeth and me, because Zach, where's Zach?
On his way to New York.
Yes.
We don't know how. By car, by plane. We're unsure.
Just so you know, we get together every week. We talk about life. We swap advice. We keep each other sane while we muddle through this beautiful thing called parenting. I'm Lucy Lopez. I have a Substack. It's called Best Mom Friends Forever. And I also have daughters, Amelia, who's 15, Avery, who's 13, and we live in Miami.
I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. You can find me over on the Best Mom Friends Forever Substack as well. I also write a homeschool and family travel blog called Dutch Goose, and I'm the mom to Henry, who's 13, Oliver, who's 11, and Teddy, who's 9, and we live in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Love it. Here we are. We're about to have an honest conversation about parenting. The good parts, the confusing parts, the parts you don't always say out loud because you don't want people to think you're weird. Each week, we check in with listeners, we look at what's going on around us, and we talk it through together. Think of us as the parent friends who want to stay in the conversation even when it's messy.
And today it is, because we're talking about hating your husband.
Oh my gosh.
Or at least that's what it sounds like online. It feels like everywhere you turn, there are women in straight relationships venting about how much their husbands disappoint them and then being genuinely surprised when people react. There was a really interesting piece in The Cut called I Love My Husband Who Hates Me. We are going to get into what it's really about and why it's striking such a nerve.
Zach, who is obviously our resident husband on the show, is not here. So this episode is going to be quite interesting, but I'm hoping that our producer Cheyna will just pop in every once in a while and give us the tea on her side.
Cheyna brought an article to us from The Cut called I Love My Husband Who Hates Me. And after some discussion, we decided we need to talk about it here. So I don't know if you have people, if you know what we're talking about, or if you have people in your life that do this. But in the show notes, we've posted the article. There's also like a fun YouTube video. But essentially, this is like the trend where people come online or just are venting to you in life about how terrible their husband is. Like they will just be complaining about things that are truly like they're terrible.
I don't think I'm wrong, but I think this article's also coming off another podcast where Dax Shepard interviewed Cher and Kristen Bell was sitting next to Cher and Cher was like, I really don't know what she sees in you, but I'll trust her. And a lot of people feel that the way that the love language between Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell on social media comes across very like, I hate my wife vibe. Pretty sure this is where this whole thing is coming from.
There was I can't remember, it's in one of the videos, but there's a woman who's like got her husband some kind of video game, an Xbox or something for Christmas right? And then in exchange, he got her
a butter dish.
So, and she's like, while he plays for 5 hours, I'm here with my butter dish. And so, of course, the comments are like, what an asshole, because it is an asshole. And they're like, oh, you gave him 5 hours to play and you have this butter dish, okay? And then she comes back and is like, but I love him and he's so great and I didn't mean that. It's a joke. And so I think the question here is like, listen, I'm not a fan of most men right now, most of the time. I get it. I am in a house full of men, and I try my hardest to not take it out on them. But it's like, if we're venting and then people come basically to the venter's defense, they're like, you are right, you deserve better. And then they turn around and are like, but no, he's actually great. It's like, what is happening?
I don't know what's happening other than I do feel that there's like a whole group of people who just are going to say the most outrageous thing about their partner online just to get those likes, just to get those clicks. I mean, I know if you talk longer than a minute on TikTok and have over a certain amount of views, they start paying you for that. So I believe that some of this content is fake. I genuinely
Yeah,
feel
like
that
it's
way.
it's rage bait. It's like a
Yeah, it
form
is
of
rage
rage
bait.
bait. Like they know you're gonna come for them, and then they're gonna come back and apologize.
If this butter dish woman were to write into our show, like most of our listeners do for advice, right? Even though this is not parenting advice, if she were to write into our show and be like, what would you have done? First of all, I would have grabbed that butter dish and flung it across the room, have it shatter into a million pieces, and then make his ass clean it up. Um, However, if your man gave you a butter dish, I want to know how long you've been in this marriage for, because there has to be some kind of conversation before that butter dish made it to your hands.
Okay, I see now I'm gonna be the defender. I'm like, some men are bad gift givers. Longtime listeners of the show will know I'm married to one. He is a
Oh, I am
terrible
too.
gift giver.
Gino is the worst gift giver in the entire planet. He overthinks it and then ends
Jeff
up getting me
once
crap.
regifted cookies that he received at work, like a cookie bouquet. He brought it home for I believe my birthday. He can correct me. And then when I was like, why these? Why are they wrapped like this? He was like, then they turned out to be oatmeal raisin cookies, which by the way, I hate oatmeal raisin cookies.
I
It's
hate
not
them
oatmeal
too.
raisin's fault. I hate them. I hate them. If you know me, you know that I hate an oatmeal raisin cookie. Anyway, terrible gift, got into a huge like fight about it. But here's the thing. And I did, to be fair, I did then go on this podcast and I think tell this story. So it's not like I kept it to myself. But I don't think in the story I asserted that he is a terrible person because of this. I asserted that he is in fact a terrible gift giver.
Gino also is a terrible gift giver, and I suffered that for like the first 4 years of us being together. And so 4 years, meaning, you guys know that we didn't get married till later. And I remember one day I just sat him down. It was like a month before the holidays, probably around November. And I just said, you suck at giving gifts. And I was such a brat. I go, I'm embarrassed sometimes when I go to open your because the girls were already at an age where they're like, what did he just give you? Socks? What is happening? You just gave him a watch and dad gave you socks. So for the past 2 years, I literally tell him I would love one of these three are
Yes.
okay with me.
Set him
And
up
I
for
send him a
success.
link. Does that deter me from hating my husband? No. Sometimes I hate my husband for breathing, like just being around me. I'm like, get away from me. Get away from me. Don't talk to me. Okay. And other times he's like the most amazing man in the planet.
But like, I think the question is like, are you going to put that out there? And then to me, the problem, and again, maybe this is all the whole point is rage baby and clicks. But to me, the whole problem is this idea like, I'm going to use this thing that, yes, I would complain to my girlfriends about, right? Like, I'm totally texting my girlfriends when Jeff is ticking me off because that's what they're there for. And also, we are built on like, my friends know him. And yes, they would choose me over him, but they know that our relationship is built on a foundation of like love and respect and partnership, right? And I think when that is your foundation, you can in a fun way chisel away at it, right? Like we're all human. We know that we get on each other's nerves. Like we've known each other for a very long time at this point. Like there are so many things that bother us, but I think the issue is like when you put this out to the world like this, and then people come to support you I think in this like larger landscape of, in general, the men that are out there that we are exposed to every day, see, the world, the Epstein files, the, Me Too, the just like all of this are generally pretty disgusting. Not that there aren't, I'm not saying either that there aren't women that are disgusting. I'm just saying that like a lot of the men in the world. And so I think with that rage, there are like these women coming to support other women, to support moms and be like, you deserve better. You shouldn't have to carry the emotional load. Like he should be doing some of this work. So then when they come to help you and you turn on them, it feels very like disingenuous and that we're somehow undermining the whole movement, right? Because I think too, for as much as I'm mad at men in the world, the way forward is to, if your husband is really this good guy, is to nurture that, right? We need to be holding up more men that are good guys and saying like, yeah, he's a bad gift giver, right? But he always helps with the housework without being asked. When I bring up that I'm mentally like overtaxed, like this is all too much for me, he's not like has some excuse. He's like, okay, I need to do better. Like I think it's like if we don't hold that standard, and the standard is sort of like I'm going to complain, but when you come for him, I'm going to protect him. That somehow undermines, at least in my mind, that undermines like what we're working for towards like kind of parenting equality.
I don't think that they're pissed because you're taking a shot at their husband. They're obviously pissed because you're taking a shot at them and what they deem to be a decent person, and you're pointing out all these flaws in this man that you have no idea who he is.
But they pointed it out first.
I know, and I get that. I feel that it's almost like you're opening up yourself to all these the peanut gallery with this video of your husband or of you complaining about him, whatever. You're gonna get it back. It's gonna happen. If you don't think that in this last episode where I talked about my husband has to whisper sexy things, if you don't think that people did not come to me on the DM, well, at least your man wants you. What? I'm like, okay, why did you share that with me? That was a lot. Or like, people are going to say good and bad things no matter what you post up there. But if your opening statement, if your opening thing is like, this guy, who does he think he is? People are going to go right along because people love all that. People love to rage bait. People love it. They eat it up. You just don't hate your husband publicly. Is that unfeminist of me?
Well, I guess I'm saying like, if you do like know what you're saying, I don't like, my brain malfunctioning. I feel like, Lucy, okay, your example of the like sharing the sex thing, right? Like us talking about that on the show is a really good example. If then when people said to you, like, yeah, you should ask for what you want. Like, go for it. Like he should do what you want. And you were like, he knows what I want. Like that would be crazy. Because the whole point was like, I was sharing this thing he doesn't know. Right. And that to me is the crazy part of all this, is that someone's out there being like, this is the thing that bothers me. And all of the girls from the internet, like all of the women are like, yeah, you deserve that. And then she's like, he's so good to me. Stop. like if you were like, he actually knows exactly what I want. I don't know where you got it that he doesn't do it for me every time. It's
listen,
like,
that whisper episode in my house is constantly being brought up at the dinner table between Gino and I. We're constantly laughing about it. It's actually brought some fun times in the bedroom since, because it's like now it's like part of like our thing. Like, hey, do you want me to whisper it to you? And like, hey, pass the salt. And I'm like, okay, enough, okay. And that just shows what a healthy relationship I'm in.
Do you feel like one of the red flags is needing to justify it? Like, you and I both talk about our husbands a lot on this show.
Yeah.
I do not feel like I have to come here and defend him because I feel very secure in our relationship.
Of course.
I know that I am not perfect. I do a lot of stuff that ticks him off. He does a lot of stuff that bothers me. I happen to be on a podcast where I get to talk about it. That's unfortunate for him.
Let's be honest, life gets messy, families fight, coworkers overstep, partners do weird stuff in bed. Luckily, Slate's advice columnists have seen it all. Sign up for the free Slate Advice newsletter and get our latest takes on sex, parenting, money, and every moral gray area in between, plus exclusive bonus letters delivered straight to your inbox. Subscribe now at slate.com/advice.
Did you see the one where the guy spilled like coffee grounds or something and then like just refused to clean it up?
Yeah, because that guy thought he was marrying his mom.
Well, I'm not saying, I think a lot of these men are red flags.
Yeah.
Somehow this is some kind of like feminist marry woman dilemma, right? Like
hardcore in my head.
Because we feel protective, but I also understand, but also like.
Listen, when I met Gino, I remember telling him right to his face, I am not your mother.
Yeah.
I am not here to babysit your ass. You better know how to do all this stuff because I'm not doing shit for you. And I really meant that in that moment in my life. But today, if Eugenio were to call me right now and be like, can you please do my laundry? I would be like, yeah. Do you need me to fold it for you too?
But if they're not, like, what if it's a true, so I think a lot of these women are putting out true red flags. They have truly married someone who is looking for something that these women don't want to be. And that's a really, like, I think some of it is like facing the reality that that's what happened, right? You put this out there, maybe you think it's kind of funny. And then all of the comments are like, he shouldn't be treating you like this. Like, this isn't okay.
And also, I mean,
but then you feel like you have to justify it, right? Because like, this is your relationship. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you have like, there's a lot of reasons why you want to keep this institution intact. That's what I mean. Like, social progress is hard. It's hard. We're facing a lot of like rubber meeting the road of like, I deserve this, but also I've built this partnership in a society where I, as the mom and as the woman, am supposed to do all of these things, right? And like negotiating that.
I firmly believe that some of the stuff that we see online, if we were to make it a cocktail, I feel that an ounce of that cocktail that they're serving us is also asking for genuine help.
Yeah.
And I do believe that some people use these platforms to ask for help in an unconventional way, right? Because if I'm going through something in my marriage that's really hard for me to deal with, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call you. I'm going to call my best friend. I'm going to call my cousin. I'm going to talk about it with somebody that I really trust. And I don't think some of these women have the luxury that we do, that some other women have, where they can actually have an open, honest relationship. So sometimes I feel it's like that saying, you know, when your kid or I'm trying to translate something from Spanish to English, but you know, when your kid says something along the lines of, would you be mad if I put a mud pie in the microwave? And you're like, yes. My grandmother would hear that as this. She's asking you permission to put that mud pie in the microwave. And in some regard, this idea of putting your business out there, especially that you quote unquote hate your husband or husband hating content, is kind of like asking everybody else, hey, I'm not the only one that sees this to be fucked up, right? And then when everybody tells you it's fucked up and you're no, but he's a good guy.
Right. That's what exactly. It's like that brain, it's like, how do we handle this? We're in this moment where we're seeing lots of terrible things happen at the hands of men. And we are smart enough to know, like, we don't deserve this. There's literature about the emotional load we carry. But at the same time, like, this relationship is the center to a world, right? Like, finances are mingled at, like, how much do you put up with for this, right? And how much approval do you need? Like, in a lot of partnerships, the man is carrying the financial, burden of the house. Like, an uncoupling over something like coffee grounds is a complete change of world status. Like, some of that hasn't changed.
I think also, like, if you see videos, like one of the YouTube videos that Shayna sent us was, stop posting your husband's, like, whatever, horrible husbands online. And I'm just looking at like the cover photo of the video, right? And I forgot to wash one of the videos is like, I forgot to wash my husband's shirt, and the husband's like overreacting and being a crazy person. It's like, number one, is it real? Right? You always question
Right.
that. Is that shit real? And if it is real, well, then you need help. You don't need TikTok to tell you that something is wrong. You don't need YouTube comments to tell you you're in not the best situation, you know? And I feel that
It's almost like an abuse cycle.
people are more inclined to post their business on social media than to actually do something about that problem, right?
Yeah, but I think it's complicated. And I mean, this is not all that far from, I don't know if you've seen or been at like there's like videos, there's a comedian, she's really funny. I think she does a lot of churches, but she starts by saying sort of like, who's been texted, like whose husband has already called or texted, like read out the text, right? And people are like reading out, like he's already texted because he can't find the diapers, or he's hungry, like this. And it's funny, but it is also like, you're telling me that you went out for a night and this man could not do the simplest of tasks. And so by like that, to me seems like the precursor to this. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's so funny that they can't be left alone. It's like, no, that standard is so low.
There's
So low.
It's funny that you say that. There's this thing that Gino does that drives me nuts. Should we start the show there? Let's start there. He does this thing where if he's holding two things, one thing in one hand and one thing in the other hand, and we're gonna walk through a door or the sliding door to the backyard, he'll be like, hi, can you get the door for me? And I'm all like, what? I don't compute that, because I feel that women, I could be holding two things in two different hands, like holding a can of soda in one hand, a pack of paper in the other hand, a book bag. I can have a basket of clothes holding it with another arm, and I will find a way to open that door.
Totally. There's an Instagram hashtag called women who carry things. Have you?
I've never seen that. I have to see
It's
this.
like women walking with men, and they're carrying all the things and the men have nothing. And I like, honestly, it's a joke between Jeff and I, because all the time I will just sort of end up
With
carrying
everything.
everything.
Right.
But okay, right. And then I will go open the door myself.
I will take off a shoe and open a door.
I will use my foot rather than put
before I
something
ask anybody to open the door for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means about me, but whatever. So when I see Gino holding two things and not use his elbow or maybe transfer that other object to the other hand, when I tell you that I just want to scream, but then I'm being felt like, oh, but why can't you just open the door?
Why can't you just get the door? Yeah.
But I don't understand why you can't just open it with a knee. I've opened that door with knees, with elbows, a foot, my butt. I've just slide
but
my ass.
I think that speaks to the fact of like, this is the deal. We've been at the door holding everything, and we know we have to just get it open. What is the choice? Like, I'm holding a baby. I'm holding all this stuff. I got to get in the house. There's nobody here to open the door for me.
I don't get it. Those are things that but however, if I were to share it,
Lucy, that's a red flag.
if I were to share it on social media, I know people are going to come for his neck. Like, they're just going to want to stomp his ass out. But for me, it's really, really funny. Like, I find it funny that you
totally.
can do that. And I'm like, yes, Gino, I will open the door for King Polito. Go ahead.
But also,
walk
so
through
that's
that door.
the thing. I think the bottom line is like, if you are generally in a healthy relationship and you're talking about this and you can joke about it, right?
Those things really don't bother you.
And you're working them out. Like, we are aware of the inequality in the household and are constantly negotiating that. Like, it is part of the conversation that we're having. And that doesn't mean I don't get frustrated by it. Like, my text with my friend Michaela is like 90% things Jeff has done that ticks me off, but I go to her because she loves him too. And
Yes.
so I feel like she's able to say to me, like, gosh, she's so empathetic. But she also knows that I'm not complaining in that way, right? It's not red flag complaining. It's like, I need to vent.
All of a sudden, I got this thought in my head. It was like, hey, maybe the people who are sharing that about their husband is because they don't have, like, that's it. They don't have anybody to share that with. They don't have anybody that.
But also maybe legitimately, like, if your husband won't clean up the coffee grounds that he spilled because the expectation is that you do it, that is a problem. I don't care if he also brings you flowers and he's also lovely, right? But you're right. A friend would be like, hey, that's not fair. That's
Yeah.
not fair, and you need to say something to him. Like,
No.
that's disrespectful.
I'm just thinking about how great Gino is.
Well, I know. This is like, and then I told you the thing that Jeff always says is, you're so lucky you found me. And my thing is, luck had nothing to do with it.
Zero luck. I don't know. Do you think this kind of content is harmful? Like, I think about your boys.
Yes. In all directions. I think it's harmful. I think sometimes the way I speak about, like, men because I'm pissed is harmful.
Right.
We're not going to raise better men by justifying bad behavior or by lumping them all together that they're all terrible or by acting like they can't handle this. Like, the way to raise better men is to have clear expectations, to make sure they're doing the things around the house, to point out where the inequalities are, to let them see us navigating these inequalities, right? And some of that has to be Jeff doing it. Like, because I'm home, like, the kids will say, like, but mom's home. And it's like, it's so much more powerful when Jeff says, like, but that doesn't make it her responsibility.
Right.
Like, this house is a shared responsibility.
Women who post content that, their husbands hate them, do you think they should just run off and get a divorce?
This is where my brain short circuits. Like, it truly short circuits, because on one hand, it's like, is it a real red flag?
Right.
Like, is this really happening?
A joke?
Is it a joke and you're doing it to get paid?
Oh my God. How gross is that, by the way?
Or did you post it because you're mad? And then when the people came, you realize that you've put your relationship in jeopardy, and that's not what you want for any series of reasons, right? Because you can't survive, because you've hitched your horse to this cart situation. But that's like a reality. Yeah. This is really fascinating.
But yeah, I've been seeing this content everywhere, and even the memes, and some of the memes are hysterical. I have this whole thing, and I think I've shared it on the show, but I know, like, the people who follow me on IG know how much I can't stand it when Gino leaves his shoes underneath the dinner table. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much that if I can light the whole entire kitchen on fire again, I will, if I find his shoes underneath the dining table. Like, it's annoying to me. Like, go put it where it belongs, right? And every once in a while, there'll be a meme with, like, shoes under, oh, doesn't this annoy you? Blah, blah. And guess who sends it to me? Everybody that I talk to about it. I think that it's so easy to either fake things online, and it's also very easy to share your truth online, but you have to be ready for the good and the bad that comes with it. When you share your truth to the masses will behave like asses. And just be ready for it.
All right. Well, we want to hear from you. Do you love your husband who hates you? No. But do you have I'm honestly interested. Like, who are you venting to? When you vent, what does it look like? What is your expectation? Have you participated in one of these? Do you think all of this is fake? Whatever it is, we want to hear about it. Okay, real quick, guys. We have to talk Slate Plus memberships.
Oh my gosh, do we ever?
So Y'all are an amazing community, and the folks that are currently Slate Plus members, thank you so much. It really means the world to us that you truly help keep this show running. They look at those numbers to decide, if we're saying. We have ads, but they don't help nearly as much as the sustaining Playground members. So we're so thankful for those of you that are here. If you're not a member, please consider it. You get lots of bonuses across the Slate podcast and the text network. There's no paywall on the Slate site. You can read everything. There's ad-free listening on every podcast. Plus, podcasts have amazing bonus episodes just for the Plus members, including us. Lucy, this week we're talking about things we do while we're waiting on the Plus. Our Pluses are usually little tips, tricks from us, recommendations. Lucy, do you want to tease what you're going to be talking about?
How to deal with waiting when you have kids. It involves your phone, your forehead.
Okay, I can't wait. Come join us there. Come listen to our little tips and tricks. We'd really appreciate it.
Listen, and if we sound a little deflated, I mean, it is what it is. You see what's happening. You know what's doing. We need you guys to sign up for Slate Plus memberships. Come on. That's our show. Wherever and however you're listening, subscribe, leave a rating, a review, tell all your friends. And if you want more parenting advice, you can find Karen Feeding the column on slate.com. This episode of Karen Feeding is produced by Cheyna Roth. We love you, Cheyna. Micah Phillips is our video producer. Mia Lobel is executive director of podcasts for Slate. And Ben Richmond is senior director of podcast operation.
I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. You can find me on Instagram at elizabeth.newcamp.
And I'm Lucy Lopez. You can find me on IG at the Lucy Lopez. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back here on Thursday.
If you want more no-nonsense advice about parenting, relationships, money, and everything else life throws your way, sign up for the Slate Advice newsletter. A special thanks to our Slate Plus members. If you haven't already, consider joining. Slate Plus members get unlimited access to all of Slate's journalism and help support our independent reporting.